And thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Absolutely great. Thank you for having me, Sam.
Awesome. Good to hear. So, Justin, I'd love to get to know you as a person a little bit more. Is it possible you could share, a little bit about yourself, what you do day to day outside of trading?
Yeah, sure. So I work a 9 to 5, like most people. Trading I do on the side. I work for, let's say, a large financial known company.
Right.
Yeah. That keeps me busy. So I trade, like I said, along the side. I've been doing the corporate life pretty much in my entire life for about 10, 15 years now. I got into trading about 1 year ago. It's something that kind of fascinated me. I got recommended through a friend. They said, yeah, you can earn a bit of like some side income along your day job, so why not give it a go? It doesn't take too much of your time. That person introduced me to a mentor
Hmm.
who then helped me get started, and I'm still using that same person today.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And how long ago was it roughly when you got into trading?
I would say about a year ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's not
Yeah,
even a
not
long
that
time.
long.
Yeah.
Not that long, honestly. Yeah.
I was expecting maybe, 4 or 5 years, because that's usually
No.
how long
Yeah.
people
The
take.
yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I because there's loads of people out there that can teach you how to trade, but the reason why I chose this particular mentor is because it was recommended to me from a friend saying that yeah, this person will teach you from zero and will help you along the way. And the strategy that they teach is pretty simple. They like to keep it simple, like very clean charts, not a lot of indicators. And I thought, yeah, why not give it a go? It makes sense. Especially I didn't mention this for what I do, like professionally. I'm into the IT field,
Hmm.
so I'm pretty technical. So looking at charts and whatnot yeah, it's no problem for me.
Amazing, amazing. Well, he must be a very good mentor. If he was able to take someone with no experience in trading, and in a year's time already get them to the funded and payout stage of a prop challenge, because trading prop is naturally a little bit harder than doing your own cash account, just because you have those
Yeah,
rules that are fixed, and
yeah,
there's no kind of
100%.
slippage there. So yeah, you've done phenomenally well, and hats off to your mentor. He's done really well. Um, so, how long did it take you, roughly, would you say, until you kind of started seeing results with trading?
So to implement like the strategies that he taught me, I obviously didn't just jump into funded accounts. I obviously had demo accounts for a good few months to get used to the system. And even then, when you jump into funded accounts or let's say evaluation accounts, it's very different. We're going to speak about that later on about, mindset and psychology. But yeah, I blew quite a number of accounts before I actually became profitable
Yeah.
because trading on demo accounts is 100% very, very different because you don't feel the same emotions as
Mm.
if you were trading, let's say, a live account with real money or let's say an evaluation account, a funded account. Like it's totally different. You're like, oh yeah, if I lose whatever 10K on this demo account, who cares? So what? It's not my money. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just numbers on the screen. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't You don't feel any emotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's great that you still work a day job, a 9 to 5, because I've seen so many times people they'll have a day job, a 9 to 5, it pays the bills. They get into trading. They have a bit of success at the beginning, and they think, oh, now I can quit my job and live this trader
No.
lifestyle. And very quickly, it all of a sudden changes because now they're dependent on that money, and the
Yeah,
emotions become so strong, almost impossible to control, especially if you're still relatively new to trading.
yeah, 100%. It took my mentor, like he had a 9 to 5 job as well before he became a full-time trader. And he said the transition was pretty difficult because as you said, is like I can't have like 9 to 5 as a safety net to pay my bills anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to be doing this full time. I'm going to have to become profitable, otherwise I won't be able to pay my bills and feed myself. So it's a lot of pressure if you want to do this, full time.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And even then, having a nine to even if you can handle that pressure, having a if you're just a trader, you have to rely on that money. So you have to obviously withdraw. I mean, obviously, if you're in a prop firm, you're going to naturally always withdraw your money. That's a given. But if you're trading your own capital, you're going to have to take withdrawals. And if you're trying to
Yeah,
compound that and grow it, it slows you
yeah,
down massively. You can actually speed up the process massively by keeping your day job that pays the bills and keep your, whatever money you make on trading, try and compound that into bigger amounts. And you can shave off years of of hard work doing it that way. So it's always
yeah,
good to
100%.
stick to your day job until,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
yeah,
that's what I recommend to people is like, keep stick to your day job and then transition to doing, let's say, prop firms, trading that way until you have enough money to put into a live account and then try doing that. But again, it's like you need that constant cash flow.
yeah,
You have to treat it like kind of like a business, really, because there'll be months where, you blow accounts. There'll be months where you take like profit, but you have to get to a stage where it's consistent. That's the key thing. Like make sure you can actually make, I don't know, let's say 2, 3 grand a month to pay your bills, and then go from there. And then just when you're ready, just yeah, take a deep dive and then yeah, go for it. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back to your 9 to 5.
absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Justin, obviously, you've been trading for a year now. Was there any kind of
Yeah.
defining moment in your trading journey, good or bad, that kind of really sticks out? Maybe you had a really big win, or you blew an account, or had a really bad loss, or is there anything that kind of, really sticks out in your journey?
Yeah, so basically, through all my training with this particular mentor of mine, I didn't stick to some of the rules.
Hmm.
I'm talking about, let's say, risk. There was this one trade where I made a lot of money, and then I say, hey, I said to my mentor, I showed him the charts and I showed him the trade, and then I showed him the profit for the day, and he was like, yeah, but he was like happy, but at the same time, it was like, Justin, you risked a lot of money for this one trade. You risked like maybe 4%, and then I was like, oh crap. You're absolutely right. I didn't stick to, the rules, if you like. By the way, when you're trading like with prop firms, naturally you're gonna stick to 1 to 2%
Yeah.
risk. Otherwise, they just give you a slap on the wrist, which happened to me, by the way. So am I allowed to say what firm it was or not?
I would say probably not. I don't think we
Okay,
can mention
okay,
other
that's fine.
brands.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't with Hola Prime anyway.
Yeah.
It was with a different prop firm, and they eventually paid me out. But they said, with that trade, yeah, you won big, but it was considered gambling,
Mm,
so we're gonna have to limit your risk from all your accounts onwards to just 1%. I'm like, oh gosh, just because of
wow.
that one trade, and it's like, because I was so sure of the trade, I'm like, look, this is gonna hit. That's why I went not all in, but I pretty did a huge lot size, and then obviously yeah, I was in profit, and then I just saw how much money I made on the day, and then they're like, yeah, that's all good, but you have to agree to some future terms to be able to carry on with us, like buying challengers, and then with your funded accounts, and they're like, yep, from now on, Justin, your risk is 1%, and if you do this
Wow.
again, we're gonna ban you. So yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Well,
Yeah,
that's not good. I mean, okay, I
no,
can understand. You obviously,
so that
you,
always
you may
stuck with
have
me.
risked too much, but
Yeah.
at the same time, to kind of threaten you like that, of potentially banning you and
Well,
lowering your risk is a bit harsh, I think.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like I'm not sure if it was in their T's and C's for this particular prop firm, like
Yeah.
saying how much you're allowed to risk in any given trade.
Mm.
So that was probably my fault. And then at the same time, like I said, it was my fault for not sticking to the rules that I was told to, stick to.
Yeah. No, fair play, fair play. But still,
Yeah, my fault, and I learned from it.
well, yeah, exactly. It's a good learning lesson, and you did still get your payout, which is good. So,
Yeah.
that's awesome to hear, though. I would love to know a little bit about your strategy. Now, I know you mentioned that you don't really want to go too much in depth, because it's something your mentor taught you, and you don't really want to put it out there in the public. But is there anything you could potentially share um, about kind of what you're looking for on a daily basis?
Okay, so first thing I would look at on a daily basis is the Forex Factory calendar.
Sure.
That lets you know of any upcoming, let's say, huge news.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at any like red flag events if it's gonna affect, your trading pair, whatever it is, and also what time that news event is gonna kick off. I'm not sure with Ola Prime if you're allowed to trade the news, but that's something else as well that you need to look out for whatever pot firm you're gonna trade with. Some allow you to trade the news, some don't. So
Yeah.
that's number one thing I do when I wake up. The next thing is that I look at the particular pair that I'm trading in the morning during the London session. I trade mainly the London session and then the overlap between New York as well sometimes, but most of the time all my trades are done in the UK like by the morning slash afternoon. So what I look for is I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I have a very clean chart. I only have two, let's say, moving averages on the chart. What I look for is just a pattern, a bullish or bearish pattern, and then I do have another indicator that I use that allows me to say, okay, this is a good setup if you like to take a trade, or if it's not, I don't take that many trades a day. I mean, if I don't see that particular setup, I don't take any trades. I don't feel pressured to. Like I said, I work in a 9 to 5 job. Trading is just something I do on the side.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I only risk 1 to 2%. I've learned my lesson. And that's pretty much it. So I have a very clean chart. I would love to show you guys, but I can't. But yeah, I just use moving averages, and yeah, that's it
Yeah.
basically.
No, it sounds very good, and I'll tell you this because a simple keeping your chart simple and clean and having a simple strategy rather than a billion indicators all flashing and blinking and lines everywhere, um, always in the long term works out better than too much. Trading really is. I find if you simplify it and you focus on one edge, like you said, you're looking for, a pattern or something, find your
Hmm.
edge and let the mathematics and the statistics play out, right?
100%. And always backtest your strategy as a backtest.
Yes,
This is very
100%.
key because
100%.
at the beginning I wasn't sure on this strategy, and then I started backtesting and backtesting, and I was like, oh, it really does work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing. There are a million strategies out there that do have a statistical edge in the market. The problem comes is when someone implements it and they have a loss, and they instantly, or
Yeah.
maybe they have two losses in a row, or have a
Yeah.
losing streak. It happens. Even if you have a 90% win rate, which is pretty much unheard of, but say
No.
hypothetically
Yeah.
you do, there's still a probability, there's still a chance that you could have five losing trades in a row. Absolutely possible
100%. And
statistically.
that's why you practice risk management, which
Yeah,
is key. Because at
exactly.
the end of the day, obviously, you just want to have, let's say, enough hits, if you like, enough goals on that table. I always compare it to like the casino, which is a bad thing. But let's say you've got 100K account, yeah, and then you've got 10 chips. So
Yep.
that means you can risk 1%. Well, not with Ola Prime, but let's say with another prop firm that allows you to take 10% risk overall. It means you've got 10 chips on the table, and it allows you to have 10 goals at, playing the charts. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
You don't want to risk, four chips into one trade and then, lose half your chips.
No. Yeah.
That's not how to play the game. The way to play the game is just to stay in the game as long as you can.
Exactly. 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. And even if you do have a losing streak, stick to your strategy, stick to your rules. Don't change the recipe because then you're now, the amount of people who flip-flop, they
Yeah.
do a strategy, they have a losing streak, and then they're jumping to another strategy, and you never really get anywhere that way. You have to allow that edge to play out.
Exactly, because the way you need to think about it as well is kind of like a science experiment,
Hmm.
and it's also a numbers game. Like you
Yeah.
said, you may have a strategy which maybe has a 60% win rate, and that is great, by the way. But yeah, over time, it's just numbers. You will be profitable, if you just
Yeah.
find that little edge in the market, as you
Yeah.
say.
That's it. That's really as simple as it is. So I guess like the second biggest thing, and I'll probably say this is the hardest part for most traders, is psychology. And everything you've
Yeah,
been saying so far, you've been hitting the nail on the head. You clearly are quite a logical person by nature, I would say, and you understand the statistical side of trading.
it's
Um,
just numbers. Mm.
exactly, it's mathematics, statistics, and numbers. So you already understand that, but a lot of people I feel are more emotional people, and they struggle to kind of ever, even if you give them an amazing strategy, they will struggle to turn it profitable because they trade
Yeah,
with their emotions. Um,
yeah.
how how did you kind of overcome the emotional side and the psychological side?
Okay, so just to be honest with people, I still get emotions when trading. I'm trying to find ways to kind of suppress them.
Yeah.
I did speak to my mentor, and one of the tips he said to me is, yeah, Justin, read this book. I'm pretty sure you know it's called The Trading Zone by I forgot the person that wrote it, but yeah, I've read the book and I was like, okay, interesting. And then I said that didn't really do it for me reading this book. So I said, to my mentor, what is your daily routine? And he said, oh, when I wake up, first thing I do is I have like a cold shower, and then afterwards I meditate, and then after that I work out, and then he has another shower, and then he has breakfast, and then he starts trading. I'm like, I do not have time to do all that. I work a 9 to 5, When am I gonna have the time to like do all these things? And he's like, yeah, Justin, you don't have to do, the cold shower. You don't have to do all that stuff. I'm just letting you know what works for me.
Mm,
Yeah. But he did say that one of the things he recommends for me to try is meditation, which I'm trying to do. It's not for everybody, but you just gotta find the thing that, works for you. Really, everyone's different. Everyone, relaxes in a different way. Everyone has a different, let's say, mindset. What works for my mentor might not work for me. I haven't tried everything, but I am trying meditation. But one thing is just, yeah, you just have to be kind of like focused, if that makes sense, on what you're doing and try not to let your emotions take control
yeah.
of, what you're looking at the charts. Some other people say, yeah, you should try changing your bars to different colors. Like instead of, let's say, the default red and green, change it to, white and black so that you don't feel like the emotions of a green candle or a red candle. There's so many little tips out there, but at the end of the day, like I said, you just gotta find what really works for you in the end.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And was it for you? And but Justin, we will move on and talk a little bit about
Hmm.
Ola Prime. So
Yep.
when, how did you discover us?
It was through my mentor. So basically, what he does with his students is, when he obviously trades with loads of different prop firms, and then this was one of the ones that he recommended to us, and then that's how I found it really, because I do trade with other prop firms.
Hmm.
And then I thought, yeah, why not give Ola Prime, a try? Why not?
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks to your mentor for recommending us.
Yeah.
It's always truly appreciated. And how's your experience been overall so far with Ola Prime?
It's been great. I think you guys offer a few things that other platforms don't offer. I mean, you mentioned it before the call that you personally do, trading yourself, that you do live trading,
Yeah.
which is a game changer for, let's say, beginners or anyone who wants to learn new strategies. I believe you trade stocks. I think I just read your profile on the website. Is that true?
I trade the well, yeah, I mean indices, S&P
Yeah,
500 and
industry.
Nasdaq.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Which is very different from me, obviously, with trading just, Forex. So
yeah,
I think I can learn a thing or two from you, from watching you, because I have no knowledge about that sector at
yeah.
all. I just stick to what I know.
Absolutely, yeah,
But yeah, that's one thing I don't see any other platforms doing. And then, I'm pretty sure there's other things as well. I'm still new to All of Prime. I haven't been with you guys that long, but I'm getting those emails through to my, inbox every now and then with, news about, this, that, and the other. So, I'll be sure to, get, more established into all of Prime and see what else, you guys have to offer.
yeah, absolutely. And we find, a lot of forex traders, because we've recently released the futures platform. We found a lot
Yeah.
of forex traders giving a go at futures and really liking
Yeah.
the futures side because, truth be
Mm.
told, the markets are very similar. If you look
Yeah.
at, for example, let's take gold. Gold
Yeah.
CFD Forex chart and the gold futures chart is pretty much identical. But with the futures, you get that
Mm.
extra data because it comes from one exchange. So you get all the
Yeah.
transactional data you can see, and that can kind of, that's usually a big eye opener for a lot of Forex traders. Say, oh, wow, okay, why haven't I been using this? And they start moving into the futures. So it's well worth, once you're established and
Mm.
you're doing well on the forex side, because the truth be told, if you can trade forex successfully, you can absolutely kill
Mm.
it in the futures market, because
Oh, wow.
I would say it's
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 something I
probably
need to look at
easier.
then. Yeah. Okay.
Especially someone like yourself who's very, data driven.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see all the transactions, all the data, all the buy contracts coming in, sell contracts, etc. Stuff like
Hmm.
that you can't see in Forex. So
Yeah.
it's definitely, I can imagine you'd love it. So well worth looking into at some point. But
Will do. Definitely. Sounds good.
but want to talk about your payout. How did you find the payout experience?
Payout is pretty much identical to other platforms, to be honest with you. You just request a payout, and then the way I get paid is from another platform called Rise, and then they process the payout, and then they go straight to your bank account. I think you guys also offer other payment methods. I think
Yeah,
crypto, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. Yeah, so it's pretty much straightforward, just like other platforms. And payment was pretty fast, to be honest with you. Other platforms I may have to wait like say 3 to 4 days, but with you guys was I think between 1 or 2. It was pretty fast. There was yeah, no issues. So yeah,
amazing,
great,
amazing.
straightforward. Yeah.
Well, that's really good to hear. One last question, and I'll let you go, Justin.
So
What is what is the future for you? Are you looking to get more accounts with Ola Prime? Are you looking to scale your current one? What's the who's Justin in 1 year time?
just in 1 year time, will be let's say trading. I would say a combination of bot firms and also a live account. That would be, the dream.
Hmm.
And like having multiple of them, from All Prime or other pot firms, stacking the more, let's say, cash flow, the better, like stacking accounts. Hopefully reaching maybe 1 million in funded would be the dream, overall. And then from that, just making, let's say, a few percentages a month would be enough to live on. That would be the dream. And I think it'll be, possible. I
Absolutely.
don't think it's that far-fetched, but it does require a lot of effort and, work, to do this, full time. Like I said to you before, there are obstacles within trading that that you need to overcome to become, let's say, successful in this game and to be profitable. Because I think there's a large number of people that are not able to make this work for whatever reason that is. So
Yeah,
you just gotta find your edge, and then at the same time overcome all these obstacles. And then it's gonna be like the light at the end of the tunnel. You're like, oh, this makes sense now. Because when you watch, let's say, influencers, YouTubers, and whatnot, trading, they make it look so easy, and you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. But when you try to do it yourself, it's a completely different story. You start second guessing yourself, and you're like, does this look okay? And then you start looking at the charts differently, and then there's no one there to hold your hand. You
yeah,
know, it's a game versus yourself. To be honest with you, like you mentioned, there's so many like different things that get somewhere like there's the mental aspect to it as well, the psychological aspect that happens when you're trading. It's like, oh, I mean, we all want to be winners, but at the end of the day, you can't win every trade. You
sure.
have to take the losses. You have to learn how to lose as well as because we know we're all humans. We want to win naturally,
Yeah,
but it's not possible. At the end of the day, it's just about risk management, numbers, and then yeah, psychology. So 1 year from now, to answer your question, yeah, I just want to hopefully do this full time. I'm trying to get to 1 million funded, overall, and then like I said, just making a few percentages of those prop firm accounts, I'll be able to live on.
absolutely, absolutely. And I have no doubt you'll get there. You've come
Thanks.
extremely far in 1 year, so I can't wait to see where you'd be in a few more years. You know, easily, I think you could have 1 million in funding. I can't imagine why you wouldn't. But Justin, thank you so much for coming on today, for sharing your story, talking about how you trade, your strategy, and just being an all-round great guy to talk to. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And to all the viewers, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on channel notifications, and make sure you join our Discord, and also tune in to Hola Prime TV every Monday to Friday, every trading day, where myself and our other great coaches are all trading live, breaking down the markets and interacting with you guys, so it's well worth tuning in. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care.
Hola Prime, trade with transparency.